You saying that I crushed her skull and that I shot her? How dare you?
No,
when I came home, there was a man in my house. I fought with this man. He had a mechanical arm. You find this man. You find this man.
Now, before I dig into the real fugitive, I got to issue a disclaimer. This is my opinion, no one else's. And the motivation for my disclaimer comes from a comment on yesterday's podcast about the Fugitive movie. First, I must mention two names. The man who created the Fugitive, Roy Huggins, and Dr. Sam Sheppard, the man who, in my opinion, was the real fugitive who inspired the series. And now, I quote the comment. Roy Huggins always denied the Sam Sheppard case was his inspiration for the Fugitive. Sam Sheppard was an osteopath who never escaped while in custody. End quote. First off, the Sam Sheppard murder case was huge news. The year was 1954. My mom and dad and I were driving out to Cleveland to spend the 4th of July with relatives. The murder happened in Cleveland. My mother was a nurse. Sheppard was a doctor. And the thought of a member of the medical community murdering someone was unthinkable back in 1954. My mother talked about the case for years. The story was every bit as big as O.J. Simpson. So, let's compare and contrast. Like Richard Kimball, Sam Sheppard was a doctor. And, like Richard Kimball, Sam Sheppard's wife was brutally murdered. While a one-armed man killed Richard Kimball's wife, a bushy-haired man killed Sam Sheppard's wife. Like Richard Kimball, a jury convicted Sam Sheppard and sent him to prison. And, like Richard Kimball, once Sam Sheppard got out of prison, he continued his quest to find the killer. In his case, the bushy-haired man. Roy Huggins was a brilliant man, as a writer and or producer. He had his hand in shows like Maverick, 77 Sunset Strip, The Rockford Files, The Virginian, and Beretta. I did not know Roy Huggins. Never read his bio or autobio if he wrote one. And he died in 2002, at the age of 87, so no way I can call him and ask for verification. But he also wrote under at least 3 pseudonames. Thomas Fitzroy, John Thomas James, John Francis O'Mara. So he wasn't exactly telling the truth even when he was talking about his own name. And as a fiction writer, he wasn't exactly telling the truth all the time either. Take my latest book, Dead Stripper. I created the story from several things a real stripper told me. She was my inspiration to put my creative genius to work and concoct a story that got into fentanyl, the Sinaloa cartel, and murder. And guess what? Despite what the title says, the real stripper who inspired my fictional story is still alive. She's not dead. But in my book, she's as dead as the proverbial doornail. Maybe Huggins said that to avoid any potential liability issues. Who knows? In any case, Sam Sheppard was the inspiration for The Fugitive, in my opinion. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it, so let's go. Meet the real fugitive. David Jansen plays Dr. Richard Kimball in the Fugitive TV series. Harrison Ford plays Dr. Richard Kimball in the Fugitive movie. Both the TV series and the movie are adaptations of the real fugitive, Dr. Sam Sheppard from Cleveland, Ohio. In the TV series, a one-armed man is burglarizing the Kimball's home when Helen Kimball walks in and surprises him. After he murders her, Richard Kimball comes home and surprises the one-armed man. They struggle, and the one-armed man knocks Dr. Kimball unconscious. In the movie, a one-armed man is burglarizing the Kimball's home when Helen Kimball comes home after attending a lavish Christmas party with her husband. After he murders her, Richard Kimball walks in and surprises the one-armed man. They struggle, and the one-armed man knocks Dr. Kimball unconscious. In real life, a bushy-haired man bludgeons Marilyn Sheppard to death while she's in bed, and Sam Sheppard is downstairs sleeping on a daybed. When his wife screams awaken him, Sam runs upstairs and encounters the bushy-haired man. They struggle, and the bushy-haired man knocks Dr. Sheppard unconscious, not once, but twice. In all three versions, the doctor is convicted of murder. In all three versions, the doctor gets out of prison and pursues the killer. In the first two versions, we know we're dealing with fiction. But in the real-life version, to this day, we don't know if we're dealing with fact or fiction. We'll dig deeper into the Sam Sheppard murder case. My name is Barry Bowe. I'm America's best crime writer. Since I already mentioned Dead Stripper, let's go with that today. A hard-hitting, murder she wrote type story where an Uber driver transports a stripper home from work. Then she's found dead the next day from fentanyl overdose. He must prove he didn't kill her and find out who did. Dead Stripper's available at Amazon and other booksellers, so thanks for stopping in today. Much more coming up on the Sam Sheppard murder case. Until next time, see you. And that's a wrap.